everyone, welcome back to As Art with Nick, John, and special guests Taylor and Chris. We're talking about the new Space Jam and maybe do some comparisons to the old Space Jam. We're going to jump right in.
We did a review on the original Space Jam. We do VFX breakdowns. We have an amazing TikTok comparing them too. So just all the links are down below. Go follow it. But today we're going to talk about LeBron versus Jordan. Who's better? Like, basketball player and actor. Let's just throw everything into the bucket. We're going to talk about all of the Easter eggs. Not all of them because there were so many. But we're going to talk about Easter eggs. We're going to talk about the new Looney Tunes in 3D and our opinions on it. And also, LeBron is the 2D character, which is a change up from the other one. And even why the game is even happening. And I have a question for everyone else. Does LeBron have a kid? And is he married?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was like.
He has kids, multiple.
Are you asking in real life?
Yes, in real life.
Kid, LeBron and his son Bronny, they're actually attempting to be the first father-son, like in the NBA at the same time.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, they're trying to be that.
How old is his son?
His son is in high school right now. I think he's 16 or 17. So if he's able to get in the NBA within the next 3 years, it's a possibility.
So it's not the same age as the son that's playing him in the movie then, obviously.
No, I'm actually not sure if that's his youngest. It could be. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, because in the original Space Jam, Michael Jordan had, his wife wasn't his wife, his kids weren't his kids. It'd be interesting if Yeah,
anyways, I had no idea if he was married or not. So let's jump into it. This is going to be amazing. All right. So let's just jump into the characters, right? We had the big issue with the Lola Bunny, right? That was all over the internet. People were mad about her new design. People loved her new design and all this stuff. But let's just talk about it. Does it even bother you guys at all? You're like, who cares? It's just a cartoon bunny. Like, why is everyone stressing out over this? So let's go for it.
She's just an ancillary character to me. So I don't care for the least bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't care about the other designs. Why would I care about Lola's design? I don't know.
Exactly. It doesn't even she's not even in the Looney Tunes universe anyway. She was just created for the movie in the first place.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So she's literally been in a little bit of the original Space Jam, and this is her only other appearance then?
I mean, they might have used her in some other episode somewhere.
But she's not a regular.
No, she's not. No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I probably would have noticed because they did make her much different as far as how she's being presented. But at the same time, it's like, all right, I mean, I'm sure they're going to change the style of the characters in general from the 1990s to what we're filming in now as far as the clothes and stuff they're wearing now. So that's kind of just changed as well, too. So just kind of keeping with the times, which these movies are all about. It's like bringing current LeBron James versus Michael Jordan's back then and putting him into a current thing. So just keeping up with the times, I guess.
Were you guys disturbed at all by the 3D character designs?
I actually don't I guess because there was 2 trailers, right?
There was a teaser which didn't even show anything really, and then you had the trailer. I
don't know which one I watched then, because the only one that I remembered. Yeah, well, no, it was 2.5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, you watched the right
one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, the only 3D part that I saw was when Bugs Bunny's arm was turning into 3D. I don't remember actually seeing a full 3D character, unless I just missed it because it was just so fast. I don't know.
It was the whole second half of the trailer, like everything happening in the basketball. I think it's happening in the real world or something similar to the real world, and that's why they get the upgrade to the live action version 3D design. Yeah. Oh. Taylor, did it disturb you at all? The 3D characters?
No, I think I was most disturbed a few months back with Sonic, and so just compared to that, it was fine. So the bar was really low.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Sonic, right? Sonic kind of shook up the internet there for a second too, right?
Yeah.
John?
Well, and then even though they're 3D, they're still... The big thing with Sonic is they made him look kind of weird. They were trying to make him human looking, but also Sonic, and then they redesigned the character to look more like... They still look like the Looney Tunes characters, so I think in that regard, they're not going to be so off-putting. Mm-hmm. A character redesign, like Lola, the rabbit, was kind of a bigger thing because that's a redesign. So I think that's why people got upset with that. But I was watching this on my phone, so it wasn't a huge screen. But you have to imagine, if it's coming out on HBO Max, how many people are going to be watching it on their phone, on a tablet, on a laptop versus a TV anyway. But I thought the 3D looked really good as far as the quality of it. I remember in the original Space Jam, they had a few shots where the characters were 3D. Oh, what's his name? The guy from Jurassic Park, when he was being squished up into a ball and stuff. I know those look dated, but I like those. I like that style of looking things. So 3D in and of itself, I don't think is a bad thing. So I thought it was fun.
And why would people be mad about the Lola design anyway, since this movie isn't a direct copy? Like, they're not trying to recreate this movie in its entirety. They're making a whole new story. So what's the big deal if you have the same character with a different design? Because you're not following along to the main story anyway. What's the big deal? Like,
it's the internet. That's
the internet. Oh yes, the internet.
Hey, but you know what? It worked for Sonic, right? Enough people got angry where they changed the design. It also worked for the Zack Snyder version of it.
Is that what happened there? Was it because people were upset with the design?
Well, people were just like asking for it. They wanted to see his cut because they never got to see his cut and stuff like that. So the internet was like, and it worked.
But nobody asked specifically about Steppenwolf. They weren't like, oh man, that guy's hideous. Like,
well, there was hints at, he had design differences and stuff like that. So everyone wanted to see his vision, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the thing with the Zack Snyder movie. But
and going with like the 3D and the character design and stuff like that, Nick and I really kind of ripped, especially on the trailer for Call of the Wild. And then when we actually saw the movie, it was off-putting maybe the first 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes max. But after that, you got used to this overly emotive dog. And it could go either way in this. You could watch it and right away, you're like, all right, cool, you just totally accept that. Or maybe after 15, 20 minutes, you're used to the difference as well. When they go from 2D to 3D, I'm sure they're going to want you to notice a difference because that's a whole thing they featured in the trailer. Like, hey, they're going from 2D. Yeah. Reminds me of that celebrity death match where Beavis and Butthead, they're on there in 2D and then one of them gets punched and he's going into the third dimension. It's like, I think it's good. It made me laugh and think of that. So it's kind of funny. But
I don't know if you guys remember the original Space Jam, but when they enter Michael Jordan's house to get his special shorts and shoes and stuff like that,
yes.
They tried to paint shadows on them to make them feel like they were in the real world compared to when they were in the Looney Tune world. So it was like this idea is like when they transfer between the different worlds, they become more human, or not human-like, but more 3D-ish with their rendering and stuff. And so let's just jump into the LeBron Jordan debate, like, because everyone's this is like, for some reason, even though it's a movie, people love talking about the GOAT and who's the best and all this stuff, with LeBron and stuff. And like, there's arguments out there. From the comments I've been reading on our TikTok video, we posted a TikTok video, which is awesome. We're almost to 1 million views. Super stoked, but so many comments and opinions because I put LeBron versus Jordan. It was incredible, the comments and stuff. Thank you guys so much for commenting. It was so much fun to read your guys' comments and stuff. But people were saying like, LeBron's copying Jordan and like, no, LeBron's doing his own thing and blah 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 blah. I would like to hear your guys' opinion because I just think it's the movie studio trying to make the money and they're attaching the basketball player's name to it. I don't think it has anything to do with like LeBron's like, wait, how many rings does Jordan have? How many movies does Jordan have? It's like, well, then, Shaq has more movies technically, but anyways, let's just jump into it.
What is it? It's not Shazam. What's it? What's when Shaq is the genie?
Old man. No, when he's the old man. Remember when he's the old man in that new basketball movie?
Oh, you're talking about
Uncle Buck? Uncle Joe?
No.
Uncle Buck. That's John Candy, not Shaq. What are you doing?
Oh my God. No, but I know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about when Shaq, because you said Shaq has more movies.
He also is,
he's a genie. He's a genie. That's the one I'm talking about.
Shaq is Uncle Buck. Deepfake coming soon.
He was also in a music video too, and that's how I beat Shaq. Remember that?
Aaron Carter.
I don't remember that one.
And then Shaq had a Super Nintendo game, Shaq Fu.
How come Shaq never got a Space Jam? I feel like Shaq's the best comedian out of the three. Like I feel like he would have like his own original jokes. Anyways, let's just jump into it. Go for it, guys. I'm totally going off the rails here.
Well, for me, yes, this movie is just for the entertainment value. I agree with you. I do think it's the studios who put it on. It has nothing to do with who's the best. But at the same time, LeBron trying to be the best and even self-proclaiming himself not only as the king, but when they've debated, he's self-proclaimed himself as he thinks he deserves to be entitled to being the best that's ever lived.
The GOAT.
Why would you do this movie knowing that the other guy, Michael Jordan, who's supposedly the GOAT, has already done it? you're just recreating it. So if you're the greatest of all time, why don't you make your own thing? Why do you have to copy somebody else? Like, if you are the greatest, why don't you make one for yourself? Even though it's, yes, I get it, it's the studio making money, non-related. But as LeBron, he didn't have to sign the contract. He could have said, okay, I'm willing to do a movie, but a completely different movie, not just a recreation of Space Jam with my own likeness in it. So I personally, I wasn't a fan of that, you know. And I think many NBA players were also not a fan. That's why your top NBA players decided not to be in the film in the first place. When and this was actually kind of an issue with Jordan as well. So there were some players in the original Space Jam that did not want to be a part of the movie either. But just like right now, your biggest stars, Harden, Curry, Westbrook, they did not want to be a part of, and Durant, they did not want to be a part of LeBron's film. So that tells you something too. So.
Do you think it's something they weren't getting enough money where they felt like they were being undercut as far as their value, or do you think they just didn't want to be a part of it because it's LeBron's movie that he's starring in? Or?
I think it
No,
was.
no,
I
actually,
think
there was a statement. They said they would only be in the movie if Bill Murray was in the movie. And Bill Murray hasn't signed the contract.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just
sure.
joking.
I was like, really? Wow.
What? No. I think it's more of an issue of like, who wants to be like, okay, so if you're calling yourself John, you're calling yourself the greatest of all time. You're like, hey, Chris, come be in my movie, and you could be my stepping stool. Like, no.
And
like,
you could be my prince.
Yeah, like, no.
Well, do you
No,
think
thank
that says something about Michael Jordan, that a lot of the guys that were considered, like Charles Barkley and guys like that, were willing to be in the movie? Do you think it's just because they wanted to be in the movie, or they did feel that, all right, it's not an argument that he's the best? Because we didn't really get their actual thoughts until you got that Netflix, Bulls documentary that we just got, The Last Dance.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you had Charles Barkley and all those guys sitting down and talking about, I remember Charles Barkley said specifically, he's like, when we were playing Michael Jordan, it was the first time I realized that I'm definitely not the best. And that's after they played all these other guys. So do you think it's just because they just realized, like, he's the best, so we'll just go along and have fun with this? Or do you think it's just a different culture and times? And I don't know. It's very interesting.
Well, my opinion on what you just said, John, was, The Last Dance, it's just hard to put yourself in the shoes of that time, at least for me, because like I've always had Michael Jordan. But it's just you can't overemphasize how different and how much of a phenomenon he was, that it was just like you didn't have a comparison to him at that time.
No.
So I feel like that was why people were more open to it then. But he definitely, obviously, from the documentary we saw, he had enemies in the NBA for sure who did not want to be in that movie with him.
For sure.
But like Nick knows where I stand on this. We've had this debate before. I don't know how welcome it will be here. But
go ahead.
If you're looking at holistically, Michael Jordan's got the points, but LeBron, he's got a lot more going on, passing, rebounds, 3 points. It's way far and away.
We can talk about this all day long. No, you are so wrong. This is the last thing I'll say, and then I'm just going to keep my mouth shut regardless of what you say. My thing is, I don't believe LeBron is necessarily the greatest in any one single aspect. I think he's good at everything, and that's what makes him great. For instance, like, he is not a fantastic shooter. LeBron has a terrible shot. He is not the best defender. He's a good defender, but he's not the best. He is a great passer. So that is one thing I would say he's great at. But I would say he is not the absolute best at any single thing, but he's good at everything, everything. And that's what makes him great. Because he's good. Yeah. He's all around. He's good at everything. And Jordan,
he has the height and the size. Correct. Like no one that has his athletics at his height and size. Like, he can push anyone around on the court. Like, he could probably even, I don't want to say push Shaq around, but he would obviously fare up better. No, I'm just saying, like, if he was going up against Shaq, or Michael Jordan was going up against Shaq, LeBron has so much more to push around. I mean, he could push around, but
that's
So let me ask this. So I haven't watched basketball since Magic Johnson retired. Okay, we're talking a long time.
John, you're aging yourself.
It's a long time.
No, it's fine. I just lost interest in it at that point. The only sport I've watched regularly in the last,
is the greatest of all time. Then
no, but the last sport I really followed was UFC, and I don't really even follow that much anymore. But so Michael Jordan, undeniably was a huge cultural thing. He was in all kinds of commercials. He did have the movie. He was the person to do that. And I don't know. That's what I'm honestly asking. Is LeBron James culturally, not basketball, not statistics, is he culturally at the same level as Michael Jordan, or
He's up
I mean,
there.
he might be. I really don't know.
He's up there. I mean, Michael Jordan it's like the Beatles of music, right? His name, because he was the first one that had the shoe. I mean, think about it. Like he was the one like with branding and to go around the world. The Olympics, at the explosion of basketball in the Olympics at that time, where he just exploded. It was like perfect timing, just like the Beatles, right? It was the right place, right time. Obviously, I'm not talking about his skills. I'm just talking about timing. The timing of everything was just perfect. I mean,
so culturally, is he the same? Because I remember reading an article way back then. They're like, the only other Michael, or the only other person in the world that's known as much as Michael Jordan is Michael Jackson. Like the two of them were known anywhere you went in the world, And so, is LeBron James the same way? Anywhere in the world is he going to be known the same way that, say, Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan are? I'm asking.
Well, I think Nick said it right. Like, the social media has changed the dynamic. So right now, there's superstars not only in every sport but on every team. Like, so superstardom has spread so far that like the database of how many superstars are out there are still significant. But he's still, I think, if he is not the number one, he's up there for like one of the most Instagram followers. Like, he has like 40 plus million or something. So he's definitely up there. But it was different because Jordan is in an era where there wasn't, not to say that there wasn't stars, but there was nothing like him.
He was
the NBA.
Over TV, though.
Yeah, he was the NBA.
So it's whoever the media picked up on was who got all the attention, basically, then at the time, right? Whereas it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, it's different.
But LeBron's huge in his fame and all that stuff too. And I think he was in a movie too, wasn't he? In a comedy?
Yeah, he was in Trainwreck with
Trainwreck. That's right.
What's her name? Amy Schumer, I think. Yeah.
Did he do pretty well in that acting wise?
He did the voiceover too.
I think it was like a little surprising how well he did for that. People gave him some credit for it. Not amazing, but
so let me ask that then. So Michael Jordan, you could definitely tell acting in front of a green screen hard to it's hard to do. If you guys have never had to,
the behind the scenes of that are the best. They have like a full green screen basketball court and green screen guys. He's like dribbling the ball around them and everything. It's like,
it's really so weird.
Crazy. And I think they had to do it where like the court was, he had to have a gym there because he still had to be like in training and routines, and like other pro players would come down and play with them, like in between shots and shooting and stuff like that. Like, all these pros would just come down, like Magic would come down, like all these people would come down because he was in LA and everyone wanted to travel to LA and all this stuff. It was like a huge thing at the time. So
that was cool because like they'd travel and they'd get their cameo or whatever. I mean, it seemed like just a way, hey, you're just traveling on someone else's time, you get in a movie and cool, you have a fun time. It seemed like it was a cool thing. But I
think he also like used it as a way to find their weaknesses out or something when he was coming back to the NBA. It was something like that. They would
film all the scrimmages.
He was such like a goat. Did I say it too soon? But anyways, he would invite people over so he can see their new move sets and stuff, so he can like figure out how to take them down because he was like coming back into the, I don't know. He's such a competitive guy. It's so crazy how competitive. He reminds me of Kobe. Like Kobe was at that competitive level. I'm kind of bummed because I love Kobe and I was such a big Kobe fan. I'm kind of bummed Kobe didn't get a Space Jam.
He's a different human. Kobe didn't have the social. He's not as social as LeBron. LeBron is definitely a social character. Yeah. Kobe's more like to himself, or was.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Like instead of filming a movie, he's like, no, I got to shoot 5,000 shots right now. Like he was always training and in the gym. It was insane, his dedication to the sport and how much he trained and stuff. He wouldn't have time. You're like, a movie? No way! I have to make 1 million baskets before breakfast. It's like, what? Kobe. Beast.
So as far as how entertaining the movie will be, do you think the movie with LeBron will be more entertaining as far as the acting skill than it was for Michael Jordan? Do you think it's
I think it's going to be just as bad as the original Space Jam. But the only reason why the Space Jam's held to the standards, it's because it's the kids now grew up, and it's just like the whole member berries from South Park. It's just like childhood memories that we remember. It's not like it's a great story. Go back and watch it. It's not like a fantastic, groundbreaking story or anything. And I feel like it's going to be the same thing. It's like his kid is kidnapped. He has to team up with the Looney Tunes He has to win a basketball game to get his kids back. Like, it's not gonna make like any sense. It's gonna be King Kong versus Godzilla all over again. It's just like a bad movie with some action basketball shots. Or something.
I don't think it'll definitely have an appeal to me. But I mean, I don't think it's made for necessarily our generation anymore. You know what I mean? I think it's probably targeted towards the younger audience who love it, who see, you know, I would say the younger generation do see people like LeBron as like
a role model.
A role model. So for them, it might be great. But for me, I already, unfortunately, I'd be entering in with the bias. So it would be kind of, you kind of would have to break my wall first. You know what I mean? It's just, I already have the bias set up. So it's going to be hard for me to get around.
What about you, Taylor?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I agree that it's obviously not made for us, but there are a lot of references in it. Like, for example, the Iron Giant, where I'm like, Gen Z doesn't know who the Iron Giant is. And there was, you know how they were like, he was passing different worlds. I don't know if you noticed that, like throughout.
Yeah.
And one of the worlds was the Maltese Falcon. So I don't know.
Really?
Do you guys know what? Yeah.
Wow. That's like film noir. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, like the original film noir. So it's like I think maybe there'll be those little like, you know, treats in there for us.
Did that remind you guys of any movie?
Ready Player One?
Yeah,
Ready Player One. Good.
I couldn't even get all the only other movie that had that many references was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I was just like, I cannot even pick up on all these video game references, but those are fun when you get them. But otherwise, I'm like, what the heck was that? You know. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. So I didn't notice the worlds, but that'll be fun to see, Taylor.
Dude, did you guys notice all the freaking Easter eggs? King Kong, Scooby Doo.
I saw that.
Iron Giant, the Joker. They had the Jack Nicholson Joker in the background. They had the White Walkers from Game of Thrones. They have Clockwork Orange back there. They had like so many Warner Brothers properties back there. It was just insane. Like anything that was Gandalf was back there. Gandalf the freaking Grey. He was like, you know, I bet you like when the monsters are about to pass, he's gonna pop on and you shall not pass and like stop the ball from being passed.
And Nick will scream so loud.
Smeagol.
Oh my gosh.
It's mine. It's like fighting for it. Like
just takes off with the ball. It's mine. My own.
Anyways, it was fun to kind of pause and zoom in and see what I can make of the background character. I know you guys probably didn't do that, but
well, I would just say it looked really good. I mean, the quality.
Industrial
now you have
magic.
digital doubles, so they can do more dynamic stuff with LeBron's character because they don't have to have him physically doing it all. I mean, it's going to be technically, obviously, way better, but
Industrial Light and Magic, John. That's crazy.
Oh, I keep forgetting it's Industrial Light and Magic because the first one wasn't Industrial Light and Magic, right? That was all Warner Brothers, right?
I believe it was Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But you know,
so Industrial Light and Magic, if you guys watching aren't familiar, Industrial Light and Magic is one of the biggest visual effects houses in the world. They did the original Star Wars. They're still very much in existence. Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, anything you can think of that's a big film. They probably did a lot of it, aside from like Lord of the Rings and things like that. So they're one of the biggest houses, and the fact that they're doing all the effects work on that, or at least the bulk of it, is pretty crazy. That's pretty awesome. That must be a big budget film for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy they kept some of the 2D elements. Because like Warner Brothers is so ingrained with 2D and stuff like that, and I get 3D's cheaper and everyone wants the new thing, but like I don't want 2D to go away. And I was happy there's at least a moment with 2D. But then if this takes place in the same universe as the Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan didn't turn into a 2D characters. I don't know what kind of magic's happened since LeBron's come in there, because that's like breaking the whole thing. But it's fine. It worked. It was fun to see him as a 2D. Cartoon character.
I'd be very curious to know what the budget is adjusted for inflation of the first one versus what they're doing here. If they have more of a budget, then they have the opportunity to animate LeBron James as a 2D character, or with digital skills and things like that now and software and stuff, maybe they can just do it for a lot cheaper too. I mean, I have no idea, but budget definitely makes a big difference. But since the other one was made so long ago, the technology makes a big difference too. What you can get for that money. Yeah. It's just neat that it's going to be on HBO Max. It's not something I definitely would not have gone to the theaters to see, but for fun, I'll definitely watch it on HBO Max. Like that's a fun opportunity just to see something interesting. It is kind of a, a current times cultural thing, and so it'll be fun to watch. It's not setting you back anything. If I was paying $30 on Disney Plus, no, I wouldn't.
Oh, throwing Disney Plus under the bus.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We love HBO Max here, by the way. We have a great video talking about HBO Max.
I mean, I think it'll be fun to for the trailer, I was pausing it, trying to see different characters, IP in the background. So just for that alone, that'll be fun, I guess.
Think about how much fun that's going to be when you can watch it at home on HBO Max and you could pause and look in the background.
Yeah.
That's something you definitely couldn't do at the time.
We are not sponsored by HBO, but please,
No,
HBO,
we
reach
aren't.
out.
We don't bow to sponsors.
We don't bow to sponsors. Wow, that's very Game of Thrones.
No, that's Wayne's World.
Contract or no, I will not bow to any sponsor.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Come on, man.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry,
That's when they
sorry.
have like the Pizza the Hut box. We don't bow to sponsors. And they like take a bite. That's so good. That's one of my favorite scenes.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let us know down below what you think about the current Space Jam, upcoming, and the vintage old one as well. Check out Chris's channel, Public Diversion. Just kind of bro time, fun stuff. Check that out. And head over to As Art Does for the audio and video links we have. We've covered the old Space Jam. We've covered visual effects breakdown. It's kind of a fun one because I had never seen it until basically a few weeks before we covered that. So really fun stuff. It's fun seeing the other one come out as well. Let us know in the comments what you think about things, and we'll see you on the next As Art.